forgotten feeling from his childhood, but more powerfully. Right? There was something about that dead ship that touched his whole being. He was like a stranger to himself, standing on the sand of an unknown bay where a ship lay wrecked that did not belong there either.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Right, it started. Okay, this is we'll come back to this in a short while. Just go back to your package, right? Because you will have HBR that is screen time, and then there's HBR that is not screen time. Okay, so not that we're not going to use this for screen time, but this is, of course, the main purpose is for times when you don't have screen time. So we will just give you instructions, okay, to do the work. These are just practice, and then email your answers, right? And because it's not screen time, right, you don't have to, by right, okay, so this is the thing, okay, I don't know whether I should stop this, never mind, right? Because if the lesson is not screen time, by right, I shouldn't make you go onto your computer and type this, because you're not supposed to have screen time. So what we have done is, in the daily instructions, we've given you more time to complete. So maybe up to 3 or 4 days. Okay, so you don't have to do it on the spot, right? Because sometimes the household only has 1 laptop or 2 laptops, so you have to share, right, between the. So you do it off your. Either you do it in the evening or when times that you are free. Okay, so just email to us, both of us.
I put the email and daily instructions.
Yeah. Okay, that means you put both our email addresses in and then submit. Okay, for every part question, the minimum is 2 paragraphs. Okay, minimum is 2 paragraphs, which also doesn't mean that 1 paragraph only one basic field. You know, you have to give maybe 2 or 3 pieces of evidence per paragraph to properly support your answer, right? Okay. Yeah. So please do that. Right. So if there is an opportunity for us to do screen time, then most probably I'll be doing with you a YouTube live session. Okay, where we will either be annotating the text, right, or looking at maybe this package also, yeah, or maybe even like after we get your papers in, we can give you feedback, right? So if Miss Nadia wants to get involved, then we probably won't do YouTube, we'll probably do Google Meet or Zoom. Then everybody can be together. Okay, so first of all of you have Zoom installed in your phones. Okay. Google Meet, right? Okay, so YouTube Live is quite standard lah. You just, if you have questions, just write into the chat. Okay, or else I will also maybe under extraordinary circumstances I don't give my phone number out. But normally when I do a YouTube live session, sometimes the chat is a bit slow. So what I do is I have a WhatsApp chat going on at the same time, so people can ask questions immediately, right? Or offer answers, whatever. Okay. Let's come back to this. Okay, so this one is, you must say, you see Mr. Square, you see, I don't know whether Mr. Kamala is involved. Mrs. Lian, you know Mrs. Natalie Lian? Okay. They are the ones who help to compile. Mrs. Square is the one who compiled the thing finally. Tell her thank you. Right, if you see her. Okay? We all work as a team. Okay? So she's the subject here for literature, and this is she did for all of us. Okay. So when we're talking about page 234, we're talking about this episode here, right? This moment, in other words, this moment. Okay? What theme are we looking at? What theme are we looking at? What? Sorry? Yes, identity. The theme of identity. Now, we haven't really explored some of the questions. I think there are questions in this book. If you look at page 3, yeah, where are the themes? Oh, page 370. Everybody look at page 370 of your textbook. You have to explore your textbook. 370 of your textbook that you didn't bring. Okay, you see themes and issues? Right? Draw a diagram to show what you consider to be the main themes in a novel. Okay, so here we have some of the themes given to you. Theme of identity, knowing who you are and what you want from life. Right? So if we explore, I don't know whether, I think we did to some extent looked at this theme. Right? One of the things we asked about is some things, we looked at several themes and we saw how it was related. Okay, what is the other theme that is related to this? Identity, especially identity. What's related to identity? Racism, right? Racism. Okay, and we're talking about, it's not there. Can you put it there inside in your page? Okay, there's one stem going up, so you should put that racism, right? So the question might be, or the issue that could be raised is whether or not race is significant, okay, in Benjamin's search for identity, right? And we spoke about that to some extent last week. Is it significant that he is white, right? Yet he doesn't behave like a white person, right? In this society, in this country, at this particular time period. Is it important that his mother is not white? Right? His adopted mother, adoptive mother. Sorry, not adopted. Adoptive mother is not white. Is that significant to his search of his identity? Right? And the answer is a unanimous
No.
no. Right? It's not. He asked these questions only twice. One is chapter 16, chapter 6, and the other time is chapter 18, if I'm not mistaken. Right? 18, easy to remember, no? 6 is 6 times 3 is 18. Right? So, he asked the question, when she didn't come back for him, is it because he's white? And then his immediate answer is, what's his immediate response? Chapter 18. Look at the chapter. His immediate response is he couldn't believe it. Yeah? Page 188. Was that why his mother did not come? He was white. They were colored. Was that why his mother did not come? Because he was white? No, he could not believe that. Can I help you? Go on. Okay. Okay. This is the second time he pondered this. This idea, right? He pondered this concept, right, of race. Second time only. First time he was asking his mother at 6, why am I white and why are you colored? Right? And he was satisfied with the answer, you know. His mother said, this is all God's work. You are my grandchild, right? So if essentially a person is altruistic, right? If you believe in good in everybody, right? Then you will not differentiate between person of color and a person of not color, no color, right? White, person white, person. If you are altruistic, if you are idealistic, right, which is quite similar, okay? In a way. If you believe in goodness in everybody, then you won't. So that's how I think this is how Fiela raised Benjamin, isn't it? Fiela raised Benjamin to be a person who is of good character, good nature, right? I mean, besides the fact that they behave in a certain way towards white people, Okay, but not because the white people are more superior, but because of the social norms of the time, the social norms of the time, right? It seems that the whites are in power, for example. That's why they call them master. So Benjamin follows the same way, right? So in this sense, if you look at page 234 back again, right? What is the thing that is? What is the quote that is important for you when you are discussing his identity? Why is he so touched by this view, by this scene, right? As a child, he had pushed his wooden boats out onto the stream. A strange feeling of joy had gone through his body, right? Strange feeling of joy had gone through his body. I remember as a child, okay, my late father, he's very. What are you looking at? My button? I'm blocking it. Okay. Right. My late father used to do a lot of repair work, like DIY work. He would. He loves to make shelves. He loves to make cupboard. He would do light fittings. He would do everything. Okay, repair stuff. And who is his assistant? Me. So he will ask me screwdriver. I'll stand by at the toolbox. Blah blah blah. And it gives me so much joy to be able to figure out, right, all these things and to look at all the things, stuff that he has, the wiring and all this. He will teach me about earth lah, neutral lah, life lah, right? And it was a really very joyful moment to be able to participate in that exercise, in that activity. So now when I fix something, right? Just the other day I just replaced Sophia's battery in her laptop. Sophia is 5.1 or 5.2? 5.1, right? And I mean, it just gives me a lot of joy to be able to repair something. Okay, and just recently, because I stopped playing music, because for obvious reasons, no more performances, no more gigging. So just last weekend, I built a PC with my son, right? So from scratch, I bought the parts and everything, and it just and when we finished building it, what happened was it wouldn't start. There was no display. So of course, I'm very experienced in this, so I took out one RAM, and it would start. Then I put back the second RAM, and it won't start. So I did a lot of troubleshooting, and then I opened up, and I realized that the speed setting was wrong for the RAM. So when I discover these things, when I troubleshoot and I realize I find a solution, it gives me a lot of joy, right? So it is because that is who I am. You understand? I'm the kind of person who likes to solve things, right? The other day, my wife said, only Sunday, I said, I need to record a video. So I set it up for her. In my living room, I set up a HBL station, home-based learning, to record her reading story, her face, and then when she's doing annotation for the PowerPoint slide. Right? And when I'm capable of doing that, it gives me a sense of joy. So I think I can relate to how Benjamin is feeling. Because as a child, when you kind of like, oh, what do I like? Well, I like to play.
Yeah, what do you guys like? Something from your childhood.
You grew up in New Zealand?
Partway from Sec.
From Sec 2.
Yeah.
Then what about in Singapore? What do you like to do? I used to watch you at East Point.
Oh yeah.
With your parents.
Yeah. Mr. Syed's
I used to watch them, they would go to East Point Mall.
Mr. Syed's wife was taught by my father.
Yeah.
So Mr. Syed's known me since I was...
Yeah, I would watch these two kids. These two white kids. At East Point Mall. And then I'll go, hey, that's Mr. Professor Brown. Adam Brown and his wife and their two white kids. and then
the one my mom really looks like Fiela and my brother Benjamin.
So this is a real question, It's like I can imagine Nadia going, why am I white and my name is Brown?
My classmates, I got that in primary 1.
Yeah, how come your name is
Only
Brown?
your hair is brown.
No, my name is colored and my face is white. Funny. So now it's very uncanny that we're teaching together, and I just met her father recently at her wedding.
Yeah.
It looks so much different than last time.
Less hair.
No, you know how I felt like? I felt like a stalker, you know. Because all my life I've been like, hey, that's Adam Brown washing his hands at the mosque. Right, when we go Friday prayer, we will go to the same mosque, and then hey, that's Adam Brown. So finally when I meet Adam Brown, I was like, the stalker has met his target. So funny. Right, but yeah,
From
what
childhood, yeah,
childhood, what do you
yeah.
like to do when you were a child?
Childhood, do you all used to use, okay, I
What do you want to be
my
when you grow up, you
generation's
know?
very different, but like, did you all use Musically? You're all laughing, so you know, right? Do you, in primary school, like very cringy videos that you make? I don't know. I know that there are some of my secretaries, they say, hey, I use the blackmail
Isn't it basically
material
called
for my
TikTok
friend.
now?
It,
Is it?
it changed to TikTok. Is it?
Yeah.
It
They
did?
merged
Okay.
with TikTok.
But you remember the musical days, right? Like in upper primary, making silly videos, and then looking back on them and like wish you just want to die in a hole. But do you, when you laughed just now when I mentioned it, do you get a similar feeling?
Ah! Did it give you a sense of joy?
Sense of joy? Have you ever felt joy? What? Have you ever felt joy? I need you to tell me
Okay, how
because
many
you
of
laugh in
you,
different
how many of you
ways.
play piano?
Huh?
1, 2.
Yeah.
Were you forced or do you like?
False.
Mr. Syed, I think, you know, we have a very different idea of what might strike joy in us. I mean, for Benjamin's sake, if you all think about playing with wooden boats, you may not get a feeling of joy. So we want to try and make it relatable with all of you, okay? You gotta feel what Benjamin is feeling so that you can understand, even if you're not having an identity crisis, like Benjamin, like me sometimes growing up with my Fiela looking mom and dad, I look like Benjamin. Trying to get this, you gotta feel that emotion that he feels so that you understand the kind of troubles that he's going through,
So,
even if you're not going
see, if
through
you go back to 370, knowing who you are, right? Okay. First of all, just tell me this: is knowing who you are important or not? Yeah. Okay. Knowing who you are is very important. So, in other words, who you identify with, right? Who you identify with. Why is it important? Because it gives you a sense of sorry, B. Louder lah, I read that. Correct, belonging. It gives you a sense of belonging. Okay, and why is sense of belonging important? Because it makes you feel what? No, like you are home. This is my home. This is my family.
Why do you
Makes you
want to
feel
feel
what?
like you belong? Why can't you just feel like
Yeah, so you're stuck in the overseas, blah blah, right? You're lost, and then you see a fellow Singaporean, or you see the Singapore embassy. You feel what? Secure. You feel safe. Do you understand? Okay. The idea that you feel safe. Does Benjamin feel safe in the Vandurian family? No? Not at all. Right? Because he doesn't feel that he belongs. Okay? Of course, it doesn't help that his father likes to beat him. Right or not? Okay? So, a sense of belonging makes you feel secure, makes you feel safe. Right? I mean, it doesn't, obviously, it doesn't throw you in this state of limbo. You all know what is limbo? No? Not knowing who you are, where you come from, blah, blah, blah. Okay? But at the end of the novel, you realize that who you are, or your family that you come from, or blah blah blah. Matthew says that who you are, where you come from, is not. It's not what? It's not important. Right? What is important is who you make yourself to be. That's important. Who you decide to be. That's important. Right? And it's seen when Benjamin says, he didn't know who he was. At first he thought he was the Vandurian. Bartak sincere, strongly said, okay, you are our child. And he fit in. He fit in, just to survive, he fit in. He made the beams. He never found joy in it. We know this for sure. Okay, where's the line it says? How many beams do you make until you die? When was it's like One day making beams is like making, what is it? Something about,
Well, even then, right, if you look
yeah.
here, it's the same forgotten feeling. He hasn't felt this for a long time. When was the last time he felt this? Maybe before he joined the veterans.
So again, I think very good. Thanks for bringing this back. So, in other words, right? How do you decide who you want to be? What's important? He must what? He must give you. He must give you joy, right? Okay. Okay. Something. If you finally decide who you want to be, that person that you want to be must be. You must be in a place that gives you joy. That you feel that you belong. You understand? So this is the idea that you have to um, understand. And when you talk about identity, what is the message in the book about identity,
And
right?
as sorry, Mr. Syed,
Yeah.
as teenage girls, I mean, I've been through something similar where it's kind of an awkward time. You're figuring out who you are. You're being told to go for this lesson, go for dance lesson, go for music lesson, go for I don't know taekwondo, all these different things. If you don't find joy in it, well, it's nice that you were exposed to it, but you don't have to. You don't have to do it. You don't have to continue with it.
So the funny thing that I was going to say just now, okay, is that my son is very funny. We make him go for piano, he hates it, right? He hated the fact that he had to go for piano, because he didn't go for a lot of exam, and then he just hated the fact that we forced him to go for piano. He wanted more time to rest because he comes back every Friday, right? So he's very tired already. He's training the whole week. It's not sports school, right? So Saturday he has to go for piano. No, Sunday he has to go for piano. Saturday he has to go for religious class. Sunday afternoon he has to go for Quran reading. Sunday morning he has to go for piano, right? And then he had this phase where no, I don't want to learn piano. I want to learn guitar. So then we made him learn guitar, but my wife said cannot. You must still learn piano, right? So he learned guitar for a while and then he stopped because no time, right? So now he had made a deal, right? I'm going to be focused on my studies. I'm in IB year 5, right? And I need to have time to myself, right? And so we stopped his piano. And do you know what he does at home when he comes back from sports school? He just plays piano all the time. And then now that we have home-based learning, right? He told the mother, I'm going to be addicted to the piano. No? I'm going to be playing every day. Because every time we leave the house and we come back, I hear piano music coming from the door. I open, he's playing piano. So some people just don't like the idea that they are forced into something. But I think playing piano gives him joy. But not the idea of being forced to sit for exam and blah blah. Do you understand what I mean? Right? Can you imagine like you come in for a literature lesson and that's it lah? No exam, no nothing.
Yeah, like maybe we just look through the book, we look at some themes, we explore a few characters.
Yeah.
But
No, some of you may like it lah, but some of you may not, kind of thing. Right? Okay. So I think there's a bit of me in him in a way that I hate studying for exam.
So if you're studying for your own interest,
but I love studying. I just hate studying for exam. You know what I mean?
You study what you like, but then when you have to study because you're forced to sit for a test, then it takes some of the joy out of it.
But yeah, I mean, and we come back to this idea lah. Then why is he playing so much piano now? Because it brings him joy, and he can identify, he can relate with the activity that he's doing, right? And he's picking up, pieces that are so difficult, right?
But he's not being tested, right?
Yeah, he's not being tested.
That's the thing.
So he loves that. He loves the idea that he doesn't have to be tested.
Actually, HBL is a good time for you all to find out what brings you joy. Because I'm not saying 4-5 is a joyless class, but you may need to, I mean, in the midst of preparing for things that, I mean, you need, that piece of paper that says you completed your O-levels.
Okay,
like
so
A-levels,
this idea that,
yeah.
if you talking about your identity is who you are, right? Who you discover that what kind of person you are, okay? You discover what kind of person, and what do you want from life, right?
Because tests are just for the moment, right? You're not going to be taking tests your whole life. So your identity cannot just be, I'm a test taking student. Because that's only going to get you so far as maybe 18 years old, 21 years old, right? If you do poly, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then after that, you've still got, hopefully, a good 60 years of life to go on. And, it's going to be, what do you want to get out of that other 60 years? Are you just going to be a pencil pusher? Like, you're just going to put your nose to the grindstone and work? Or are you going to enjoy yourself?
Okay, if I have time, I'm going to weigh in on what you're saying now. But let's go back to the book. Okay, so just the question here is that what is Benjamin now obsessed with? What is he obsessed with? Learning how to what? Three letter word. Simple. Learning how to.
You saw this thing?
Come on.
Then?
Chapter 22. He wants to learn how to what? He found Kalia September. So he asked Kalia September, can you teach me how to?
Look in your book.
Again?
Row.
Yes. Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Remember, the word is row. He wants to row. Why does he want to row? Because John Ben asked him the question, can you row? And that is the key for him to stay where? To stay in the village or at the coast? Yeah. Because there is a coastal village. Right? That is the key for him to stay there. Because he is very bent on staying there. So he needs to survive. And to survive, he needs to learn how to row. He needs a job. Right? He needs a job. That is what he's been taught since young. That you must occupy yourself with fruitful work. That is what Fiela has taught him since young. Right? They must do work. They wake up very early in the morning, they do their work. She tells Selling to do his part, even though he's sick. Right? He still has to work, make whips and blah blah blah. Right? She puts the kids to work, right? To bring the ostriches to graze, to tap the aloe, you know what I mean or not? So there are people who are anchored in this idea of work is the thing that makes you an honorable person, a noble person. Nobody should think that a commodity is penniless. Remember this? Right? A commodity must stand up tall, must keep his head up high, proud. And if you're proud, why? Because you have land, you have property, you are not penniless. And that's where that's what is driving Benjamin, is it now? Right? Or if we want to call him Lucas, fine. Right? He is obsessed with rowing. But that's only half the story. What's the other story? That ever since young, he was playing with boats, right? And now, having the idea having the thought that he could himself row a boat, right? To be in a boat and to be out at sea is something that is quite amazing. An idea that is to him a very amazing idea. If you look at page 234 again, what does he say? Right? Okay. The same forgotten feeling that welled up in him, and now as he stood there, but more powerfully, there was something about that dead ship that touched his whole being. There was something about that ship that touched his whole being. He wanted to push it out to sea, like his boats when he was small. Right? So being what do you call that? A loft. Is it a loft? In the water, huh? Yeah. Being aloft in the water, that's why he finds to give him so much joy. Right? To a certain extent, let's move on. Okay? So he sees John Ben. Wait,
Good evening, Uncle.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
No, this one is, I think he means the sergeant. Okay?
Oh.
right? So he's there, right? And now he walks down to because he's up aloft in the cliff, right? So he walks down to where the ghost ship is. He meets the sergeant. Okay, Sergeant Armstrong. Okay, he calls everybody uncle lah, because they are older than him, so he's uncle. And everybody will say, "I'm not your uncle. I'm not your uncle. I'm not your auntie." So funny. You better get up that hill before it's too dark to find the footpath. I have enough trouble as it is. I can't go after people who are lost up there. I don't think you can appreciate what Sergeant Armstrong is saying here until you get stuck out in a sea or in a forest where there's no light. Right? Because in Singapore, everywhere got light. Okay? But if you get stuck out in the ocean or in the beach where there's no light, whatever, you will not be able to walk. I swear to you, you will not be able to find a path or anything like that because it's so dark. Unless, of course, there's a full moon. Then you will see some light. But not, if not. Okay, so he's saying this is dangerous. It's too dark, you cannot find the footpath back up. Okay, I have enough trouble, I can't go after these people who are lost. And of course, if you get lost in the wilderness, also difficult. The man was ill at ease and he kept glancing in the direction of the ship as if he was afraid it might suddenly sail away. Right? So sometimes we make these assumptions. We look at people, oh, why are they behaving this way? Or is it that blah, blah, blah. Then sometimes we are proven wrong. But this is what Delimity is just picking who starts. Who starts? The man was ill at ease and kept glancing in the direction. Who's saying this? Who is thinking this? Come on, there's only two people there. The sergeant and Benjamin. Thank you for speaking. Okay? Don't make me angry, okay? Once I'm angry, this is the last time they're going to see us, in class. So please participate. Think about that. Okay? And let me say this again. I'm getting quite frustrated also. This is your learning, You're going to see for the O-levels, not me. I'm done with my O-levels, my A-levels, my university, everything. Right? If you want to do well, you have to participate. You don't have to cannot be selfish and then not say anything. Right? And you're just going to be putting yourself at a disadvantage. Right? So if you're just going to keep quiet down there, I tell you, your marks are going to be very quiet. Trust me. Okay? Right. What ship is that? How did it get there? Everybody else is asking that, young man. What do you mean? Nobody knows how he got there. When the sun came up this morning, there she was. Okay? Somebody who was fishing here till late yesterday said there was nothing there when he left. Were there people on the ship? So it's almost like magic. The ship suddenly appeared. Now, when things appear to be magical or miraculous, there can only be one explanation if you believe in something. So, who put the ship there? Let me ask this question again. If things seem to be magical and miraculous, there can only be one explanation. Who put the ship there? 3-letter word. God, correct. Okay? Let's assume that everybody here believes in God. You go to St. Anthony's anyway. Okay, but I'm not making blanket assumptions. Some of you may believe in God. Who knows? Okay? But say, for example, we all believe in God. Right? Miracles can happen only because God makes it happen. Correct? Right? Let's use this assumption. Right? So we've used this assumption. I strongly believe God is a very strong element in this book. Fiela keeps talking to God. Things happen to him, and then Fiela questions, why did you take David away from me? Why did you take Benjamin away from me? All this is done for a reason, because there's a happy ending. You understand? Because in the end, Benjamin finds himself. Okay? So to me, this is like an act of God. Right? I'm not saying for sure, but there's no evidence to show otherwise, It's like the fisherman said, there was nothing before this. Nobody saw the ship coming. In the morning, there the ship it was. Right? So it's as if you want to put it in your paper and to sound a bit credible, you say, it's as if it was an act of God. Okay? As if God knew that he was going to be there, right? At that moment. First of all, he didn't want to go there, right? I mean, it's funny, he didn't even want to go to the village. Elias had forced him to go to the village, right? Yeah, and suddenly happened. Okay? So, yeah, I think, yes, I believe, in my personal opinion, it's something akin to an act of God. I need to teach you how to use the language, because you cannot be like so sure, like say, something akin, something unlike an act of God. Okay, I'm going to write it down, you write it down. Okay? Because the moment he saw the sheep, he had an awakening, isn't it? He had an awakening. Okay? And if I'm not mistaken, we've already ascertained the fact that he is with Fiela in the first place is also an act of God, right? She treated him like a gift from God. Okay? He just appeared there, right? So it's something quite miraculous. We have this feeling now. It's quite magical. Where did she come from? Where has she been heading? Who had set her sails and then left her to drift in the wind? And then, don't you want to think again? And I'm reading this, I'm thinking, hey, if Benjamin is an act of God and the ship is an act of God, should we compare the two? We should, right? Because they're suffering the same conundrums. Where did Benjamin come from? Where did the ship come from? Understand? How did it come to this place? Right? He had a journey, right? So it was also quite, how to say, unthinkable, in a way unthinkable that he had made his way all the way to the village where he started off with the long clue, right? All the events that happening. He himself don't know why he is there, right? So that's why I think he felt such a strong affinity, a strong bond, yeah, connection to the ship. That's why he really, really felt a very strong connection to the ship. Okay? And I think that's probably the reason why he decided at the end of this chapter, I'm staying here. I'm done with just like the ship, right? The ship is not going anywhere, There's nobody else it's gonna stay there. And of course, it's gonna be broken up and blah, blah, blah. But that's not relevant. The fact that he decided, okay, and the fact that he had this epiphany that he, felt an immense amount of joy, right? Seeing the ocean, seeing the ship there. Okay? Can't they do something to get it afloat again? Not from where she's lying. It's a pity that she must break up. The sooner the better, young man. Do you know Mr. Ben? Okay, I said to Mr. Ben, you know Mr. Ben? No, he's the pilot at the heads where the ships come through up the Nisa River. I said to him, I'll keep watch until tomorrow morning. It's my work, but from then on, the customs people must take over. They will have to try and find out whose ship it is. As far as we could see, there is no name on her. It's getting dark. You must go. I was on my way to the village. I can just as well stay here for the night. The sergeant seemed pleased. Perhaps I could help you keep watch. Okay? Very clever how Delhi Murthy, confronts as in makes these two people meet, and then after that, the fact that he's staying there, the sergeant is happy, then they can have a conversation now, right? Sergeant laughed nervously. I might just take you up on that. There will be no moon tonight, and the beachcombers will be ready to close in. I think he's quite. Remember I told you about the moon, right? I think he's quite nervous from the fact that it's not going to be a lit evening. It's going to be a very dark evening, so a lot of unsavory things happen in the dark. People will come and try and loot the ship. Yeah, you write that down. Okay. I might just take you up, blah blah blah. Be ready to go in, especially Kaliel. September. I know him. He sounded scared. So this is a character that sounds very interesting. Ooh, who is Kaliel September? Why is he mentioned by the sergeant? Right? You see one of the looters, and then as you read, you further find out that yes, every time a ship comes in that is like kind of a ghost ship or whatever, he starts to loot the ship. His house has all the parts of all the ship that has crashed upon the shore. Okay, next page. They gathered driftwood and made a fire. Then each ate his own food. They did not talk much. What do you keep on looking up at the sky for? He asked. I haven't seen so many stars for a very long time. I would behave the same way, if I were. There was one time we went to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Can't remember what the name of the resort is, but the resort is this is the coast, and then they build a long jetty out like a flower like that, and all the chalets are here. So we're in the middle of the sea, lah, basically, right? So the resort center is here. Then we move out to our chalet. Our chalet is somewhere here. Then at night, it's brilliant. I actually have a photo, I took of the stars. You can't see it, lah. If I project it, you can see. You see the white bits? This is where we spent the night. And then there were stars. And so I took photo. You know how to get this photo? You must open your aperture for a few seconds. And then let the light go in. I use my S8. Samsung S8. Huh?
It's nothing like being there and seeing it.
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And then at night they turn off all the lights so you can actually see up in the sky. It's amazing. Right? And of course, if you live in the forest for like 7 years, you won't be able to see up in the sky. There's no such opening like that. Okay? Are you from the forest then? I love the way she makes conversation. It's like, you're looking at the sky. I haven't seen stars for a very long time. So he goes like, when we talk, we create chatter. We always try to be smart. The train of thought is going there. You must be from I hear your accent. You must be from Geylang or whatever. Or you must be from Chinatown. Or you must be from Tampines Street 34. Right, Cherish? Okay. Funny, you people seldom speak to strangers. They go, so it's interesting. Underline this. You people seldom speak to strangers. Because is Benjamin truly from the forest? Is he truly from the forest? No, he's not. Where is he from? The Long Kloof. Okay, what's the name of the farm?
What's the name of the place in the Long Kloof?
Start with W. Woolverkral. Okay.
Spell it correctly.
What's the name of Miss Weatherbury's house? Where is it? Start with M. The next day, he has to go and find the house. So he's here and he meets a colored person in the village, and the village tells him, colored person tells him, page 239 at the top, it is Melkutral. Melkutral. Melkukral. Woolverkral, Melkukral. It's as if Kral is like a place. Like, you go Thailand. Like, something, if the word something means mountain or hill. Get, there's at the end.
Like even in Malay, you have like Jalan.
Yeah, Jalan. No Jalan and no road. Okay, nice. Okay. Look, a shooting star. Page 237. At the top. A shooting star drew a bright streak of light across the sky and vanished. When you see a shooting star and wish as fast as you can, your wish will come true. Nina had always said. You seldom saw a shooting star above Barnard's Island. If he had to wish, what would he wish for? He asked himself. What was there to wish for? This is the part I remember he was saying. That they should deliver more beams. That they should start to deliver planks as well. Those were not the sort of thing you wished for. A wish asked for the unattainable. The impossible. No, there was nothing he wanted to wish for. Perhaps he would wish for the ship. Perhaps he would wish the ship would come alive. You know what you wish for? What should you wish for? That all this should end tomorrow and then we can start again. That there's 0 cases of COVID-19.
Suddenly everybody gets better in the hospital.
And then God says, sorry, it was a joke. No such thing. Okay. God is all teaching us a lesson. What's the lesson? Home-based lesson. Right? Then there was nothing he would wish for. Perhaps he would wish the sheep would come alive. There were days when the forest scared him, when every beam that he finished was just one beam nearer to the time when he would make his last beam. This is the quote I was looking for. Right? So sad. Right? How does it feel that way? Is there any joy in living that way? Like, every day you do something that you hate doing, but you know that when you do it, you're closer to dying. Right? Does that bring you any joy? No, of course not. Right? On those days, he threw down his axe and walked off into the forest until he felt better again. Right? At daybreak, the ship was still intact. So the next morning, I will have to leave now, Sergeant. Why do you want to go now? John Ben and his men will be here shortly. They're going to try and get to the ship this morning. If you go now, you'll miss everything. Okay, so the sergeant is telling him, John Ben and his men are coming, right? You're going to miss everything. It seems to the sergeant that Benjamin is quite attracted to the ship, right? He's quite interested in the ship. So it doesn't make sense that he's leaving now. All the good things are going to happen soon, right? Why are you going to leave him? So what kind of person is Benjamin? If you think about it, now he's going like, I came here to do something and I'm supposed to, I'm not going to not do it. What kind of person is that? Focus. What else? He promised to do something, he's going to do it. Sorry again? Something like that. Trustworthy. He's honorable, right? He's honorable. He's an honorable person. He's trustworthy, right? He's a good person, lah. In other words, okay. He never liked skinning about. A pity. I want to see if they can salvage one of the boats, the long boat perhaps. Now that it was light, wait, Miss Brown, do you know what skinning a bug means? He never liked skinning a bug. The Sec 3 students told me Miss Kamala taught them. Right? Can you find out if you can? Okay, I just want to make some connection. A pity. Okay, now that it was light, the sergeant was confident and talkative again. Right? What's ironic about this? Sergeant is what? Police officer, right? But he's afraid of the dark. As the sea does not want to do its work, we'll have to do it for him. I'll say goodbye then. The village was quiet, 2 forest wagons. Okay, so this is the part where it's not very important, right? But what is interesting is he sees a colored person and he calls him, what does he call him? Uncle. So is Benjamin colorblind? Yes, he is. He is colorblind. He respects every people. Yeah? I'm looking for the schoolmaster's house because that's the last tip. The last tip is that Nina was looking for the schoolmaster, right? So this guy tells him about Nina. I'm looking for Nina. I'm her brother, right? Okay. Further down, page 238. Yes, Nina Van Ryn. I'm looking for her. He laughs. He laughs snortingly. Interesting to have that reaction, right? If you talk about someone to another person, then that person like, hey, why you like that? Huh? Why you respond like that? What is it about this person? I don't know. Right? So it creates some sort of intrigue. Right? That was a contrary one. Who? Your sister. Okay? What do you mean when you call a person contrary? Strange. Right? Contrary means strange. She was a strange one. I think the children were sorry when she walked off, but the schoolmaster was glad. You don't know where she's working now? No, but sometimes see her with old Miss Weatherbury. So the next clue is given to him. She's with Miss Weatherbury. And where does she stay? Melkukral, page 239. Okay, where's that? It's obvious that you come from the bush, the old man said. Again, very ironic in a way, because he does not come from the bush. My father was a slave, and Melkukral, this guy likes to talk, he likes to boast about everything. Blah, 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 blah. She doesn't teach that anymore, she's too old. How do I get there? He asked before the old man could start gossiping again. Right? Take the first track leading south, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Again, he start talking on and on and on. And then Benjamin don't want to waste time. He just says, thank you. Right? As he walked away, he could not decide whether luck had been on his side or against him. In his heart, he had hoped not to find her, for what was he to do if he did? So, in other words, he's in a what? He finds himself in a Start with D, yes? Dilemma. Okay? Right? He was there to do something. Find Nina, get her wages, go back to the forest. If he finds Nina and he gets her wages, he has to go back to the forest. Right? So he'd rather not find her. Right? And then he won't have to go back to the forest. The feeling of relief. So this is in keeping with how he's feeling. The feeling of relief was no longer in him. In his place was rebellion, having to go and knock on a stranger's door because of Nina. He did not want to do it. The milkwood was there, but the old man said it will be blah blah blah. Okay, we move on to the next page. Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so where we're off, we've already designed a lesson for you to be done on the. Is it the tomorrow?
Yes.
Tomorrow, okay, and the tomorrow lesson is going to be taken from this. Okay, the first practice, passage-based question 1.
It's
Alright?
considered not screen time,
Yeah.
but eventually we would like you to type out your response and email it to both of us.
Can I just ask you, roughly, when you think you can email the thing to us? By Friday?
Or that's our original deadline,
Yeah.
so 6 p.m. on Friday.
Friday, can? Okay. Do us a favor, in your subject, please be clear, right? Put there
Home-based learning,
HBL
literature,
4-5, literature 4-5.
and then your name.
Yeah. Because what I intend to do is I intend to put all your email addresses in a group. So whenever you send word, it just goes to the group. Okay? Please identify yourself. Thank you.